the turnips because you don't want big chunks, little chunks, because you're going to get some tougher pieces after you go through the cooking process.
Yeah, and it cooks a lot faster, and you don't want to be waiting.
That's right.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've already pre-cooked some turnip and already drained it. Okay, and you can tell that it's perfectly done.
Fork tender.
Okay, fork tender, so that we can use a masher on it easily. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw in a tablespoon of butter with this. And we're just going to mash it up.
And this is one of the things too, ladies, that if you're in the house and you got a husband sitting around watching the football game or something,
this is a perfect
get him in
job.
here and mash some potatoes and turnips, because that's a good job for the men. Looks pretty good.
That's pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to build our casserole.
Okay.
Okay. So to do that, because we're using apples, we're going to coat our apples with some brown sugar and cinnamon, just to give them a little nice flavor.
Okay. So we've just taken, how many apples did we use?
We used a pound of apples, which worked out to about 6, 7 medium-sized apples.
Okay. And we just used a gala apple today.
We're using gala today, yeah. So I've added just a pinch of cinnamon, okay, and half a cup of brown sugar.
Perfect. And the apples have been sliced and peeled.
Sliced and peeled, yeah.
Right. Brown sugar and apples and cinnamon is always a good thing. Whether it's...
And if you have a kid that doesn't like turnip, this is a good way to get them to eat it.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so we're just
Those are nicely coated.
Okay, and then what we're going to do is...
And I can do this.
Our casserole.
All right.
So we're going to start with a layer of turnip on the bottom, and we've already sprayed our casserole dish.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start with a layer of turnip on the bottom. So I'll grab you a spoon.
Okay. Layer of turnip. So you can gauge by how much turnip you have in here. You just want to use, we're going to do this twice.
Yep.
So you can use half your turnips on the first layer. Get them in there, spread them around. There we go, good. And then I imagine the next part, my fingers are going to get a little sticky. Is that all right?
Yes. You're going to want to layer the apples.
Okay. So you don't want to just throw them in. You need to separate them as we go, right? So
that way when you slice into it, you're going to see distinct layers.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, and while you're doing that, I'm going to work on our crumble mixture, which is going to go on the top.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So this is going to be almost like an apple crisp kind of thing, but for a vegetable. All right, Okay, so one of those, then I gotta go on. I think, based on my kitchen skills, that any guy can do this too. So once he gets these potatoes or turnips mashed, don't let them run away.
Good. So for the topping that we're going to put on that, because we've changed the recipe, we're going to use 1/3 cup of KinniKinnick's all-purpose celiac flour.
Yep. Now that's all-purpose celiac flour is just a blend of various flours that's used as a substitute for traditional flour.
Yeah,
correct?
It works in most recipes that require traditional flour that would contain gluten.
Okay.
Okay, so to that as well, we're going to add 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, and we're just going to mix that together. I'm just going to grab a spoon.
Now I've got this little bit of ooey gooey goodness on the bottom of my bowl here. Should I just pour that right over top?
It wouldn't hurt it.
A little extra flavor here that we don't want to lose?
You betcha.
Okay. I'm good for, when it comes to sugar and brown sugar and cinnamon and apples, I love that. Get it all. Don't want to miss anything. Okay, so now that's waiting for the top. Give my hands a little wash after handling the apples. So after we get this topped, how long do we have to bake this for?
We put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 1 hour.
Okay, 350 degrees.
I'm going to sprinkle the crumble on top to evenly coat it.
Yep.
And this will give it a nice crispy top in the oven, nice golden color. And it also protects the apples so they don't get burned in the oven.
Now, could you put a little extra in there? Could you make it a little thicker if you want it crispy, or will that affect how long it takes to cook?
No, it wouldn't hurt it if you like more of a crust on top, by all means. And it's an easy recipe to double up. If you have a larger family, you need to make a bigger casserole dish.
Right. Or one thing that would be really cool is if you were kind of having a unique party and you wanted to just have individual cups, you could use those little souffle type dishes.
Definitely.
And almost make individual.
Yeah, for a special dinner
servings,
party.
yeah.
For sure. Okay. So I'm going to get you to put this in the oven.
All right, sounds good.